And we are live. Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome to Vinnova's and the Research Council's first event for Clusters of Excellence, a joint initiative and government assignment that we received this summer. With this program, we look to promote world-leading, groundbreaking research and innovation in Sweden to make us competitive and a nation of true excellence. My name is Louise. I work at Vinnova, and I will be your guide throughout this event. Together, we will have 1.5 hours of presentations, analysis, and inspiration. With me in this room are all of the projects that have been granted funds in either one of the first 2 calls that concluded during the fall. And online, we have about 500 people watching, so we are very excited and happy that all of you are interested in our work. Here you can see the agenda for the day. So presentations, analysis, and an inspirational speaker. Yep, there we go. Both the live and online audience will be able to contribute to our work with the clusters of excellence via this Menti. So the question is rather simple. What are your thoughts on clusters of excellence? Send any reflections or input that you may have now or at any time during the day. It will be open all day, and you can send as many answers as you would like. So visit menti.com and enter the code 73931738. This is a chance for you to influence how we form this effort moving forward, so take this opportunity. I will remind you of it several times during the day, so no need to go ahead and go to Menti now. But without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker to the stage. She is the General Director of Vinnova and very much involved in our work with clusters of excellence. So welcome to the stage, Darja Isaksson.
Thank you. Great to be here. Let's check the sound. It's working, right? Okay, fantastic. Welcome, everyone, both here in the room and online. So let me start this way. What's the distance between a big idea and a realized breakthrough? Often it's not brilliance. It's not even luck. It's the rare combination of courage, focus, and a system that allows people to go all in. That's true for science. It's true for entrepreneurship. And it's painfully true for Europe. For decades, we've had an innovation gap, a real gap between our actual ability to create new knowledge, train some of the world's best talent, and our lack of ability to turn that into new capabilities, new industries, new power in the pace that the world now demands. Excellence clusters are our way of closing that gap. They're big bets on the idea that technology leadership happens where we can create a gravitational pull for it. So when we look at other places in the world that have done this well, not only the US, but Canada, Singapore, Netherlands, and others, patterns emerge. That this thing happens where you combine world-class researchers leading with scientific vision and choosing to act together rather than competing with industry and public partners that bring real-world problems and demands with an environment that encourages the best brains to take real risk on ambitious research agendas as well as on entrepreneurial journeys. These examples inspire us a lot. They did not succeed by being careful. They succeeded by being clear about what matters, about how to really make a difference, about where they will lead, and about the fact that this success requires concentration, not polite distribution of resources. A real opportunity is in front of us as funders today to support these world-class researchers, the ones who attract talent to help them grow, and also support the entire village that it does take to bring those ideas into the real world through translation, venture creation, and partnerships that scale. So now, if we want to lead from Sweden, and in fact, we do want to lead, we even need to lead, we have to create technology leadership in strategic areas, then we need to stop asking ourselves what's safe, and start asking what is necessary to actually make a difference. What bold agenda could change the game if we backed it with the full force of an aligned ecosystem, because we have that chance now. So I'm hoping that if you are the people with that kind of clarity, now is your opportunity in the Swedish system to choose this moment, to choose ambition over caution, clarity over comfort, design over drift, and it's our opportunity to support you in doing so. So I'm really, really happy that you're all here and that we get a chance to listen to you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Darja. Hope to see you here during the rest of the day. But now let us dive deeper into the topic of today. Since the start, our work with the Cluster of Excellence has risen both a great amount of interest and curiosity and questions. What is a Cluster of Excellence? What is happening right now? How are Vinnova's and the research councils, are they aligned? Are they different? Well, I am not the one to answer those questions, but our next two speakers are. So welcome to the stage, Cecilia Sjöberg, Head of Department at Vinnova, and Marika Edoff, Secretary General for Engineering Sciences at the Swedish Research Council.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Super nice.
Finally, we
Yeah.
meet you all, so it's really nice. Clusters of excellence, the aim and vision. We will talk about that today. So, Vinnova got the assignment in May this year of excellence clusters to fund groundbreaking and strategic technologies, invest in excellence clusters in Sweden. We also got within the assignment, we got a special assignment to develop a new instrument for pre-commercial procurement. That we will not talk about that today, but also to have a joint program office together with you.
And we got a similar assignment at the Swedish Research Council. So again, excellence clusters for groundbreaking technologies. We are looking for international position leadership, so we should be internationally recognized research. We didn't get any assigned technology areas, but it's completely open to everyone. So we have had the pleasure of inviting everyone to apply for the network calls. It's researcher-driven, it's bottom-up, and it also includes a strong perspective from social science and humanities on the future technologies. So we should be aware already at the start what this could be leading to, and this awareness is there. Also on national security, which is also in our assignment. It's a large investment in research. It's for us as researchers, we think this is huge. From an industrial perspective, it's maybe less huge, but for an industry or for research, it's big, and thereby it's overcritical, and we can attract talent. So that's one thing as well. It also may include investments in critical infrastructure that's needed to perform world-leading research. There's support for AI in the Swedish Research Council and also research schools for AI. I think there's coordination needed here. And again, a joint program office together with Vinnova.
Yes. So this is one of Sweden's most important research and innovation initiatives. It will be environments where top research meets innovation and creates real impact for the society. And this matters because technologies like AI, quantum, advanced energy technologies will really shape and change industry and our future. And as Darja said, we are not alone in this ambition. We see similar initiatives around the world, like countries like Netherlands, Denmark, Singapore, and Canada, and so forth. So to really, for us to stay competitive and resilient, we need strong research and innovation ecosystem that turn research into breakthroughs with speed. So the government is making a major investment in this. This is the annual budget in 2028.
When it's fully upscaled.
Yes. And so why now? We live, as we know, in a time of rapid change, and large investments in fundamental technologies are done. And we believe that countries that succeed will be those that can integrate knowledge and innovation at scale. So excellent clusters are Sweden's strategic response to this, to really strengthen our competitiveness and build resilience and create value for society. It is also an invitation to connect internationally, to share expertise and to really co-create solutions. So, what is an excellence cluster? It's more than research projects. It's a really long-term investments in ecosystems that really combine this scientific excellence with innovation capabilities, and also resources, other resources such as research infrastructure or also tech infrastructures. It's a combination of 3 pillars: research excellence that will be funded by the Swedish Research Council, innovation and impact that will be funded and driven by Vinnova, and also, most importantly, it's a collaboration between academia, industry and society. And together, these clusters, we hope that they could attract top talents and investments, foster and cutting-edge research, and also accelerate solutions to our societal challenges. I believe that clusters in Sweden can address some of the needs in the Swedish research and innovation system, to really closer collaboration between basic research and innovation, align our efforts, and also to really present long-term conditions and funding. Also to emphasize our strength and advantages here in Sweden, collaboration across sectors, high-quality research. We have a dynamic startup ecosystem here in Sweden. We have an innovative industry and also robust both private and public research and development investments. So we know that clusters or excellent clusters comes in different shapes and forms. And we have interviewed some of the best, and when we have talked to some of the best around the world, we see some commonalities. In order to be successful, you have to have a bold vision and you have to have leadership. You have to have major investment, not only from the government, but also from industries and other sources. You have to have an international perspective from start. You have to have the flexibility to change over time, because what you know today won't be the same results in 10 years ahead. And you also need to have KPIs really to measure the development of the cluster, and also collaboration and focus.
So, looking at a timeline then. So excellent research, as we said, I think we emphasized this many times today, excellent research is the foundation, it's the basis for everything. It should also be internationally recognized, because that's the way we attract talent. We should have access to infrastructure, so there is funding for support of major infrastructure, national infrastructures, but also our own small and medium-sized infrastructures and tech infrastructures. So there's funding for this in this cluster call. Innovation excellence, for that depends on maturity, how far are you in innovation excellence, but it has to come, because otherwise there cannot be any continuation and there will be nothing. And finally, capital and upscale. And depending on where you are in this, I think we can cover all of the time scale. I think that's super important that we say that we should speed up. So there could be completely new things, new groundbreaking things that would make it far along this line. So that's really, really important. We can take the next slide. And what we think is key capabilities. So dedicated leadership team with a bold vision. It's okay to fail, but we need to have a bold vision. You have to want something out of this. So research excellence with potential for groundbreaking technologies. of course, access to critical infrastructure, internationally recognized with strong networks. We should use the networks that we have. Innovation ecosystems identified and strengthened. They could be identified from the start, but they could also be identified along the way, and that's the reason why we have this joint program office as well, to support you in this. Scale up and attracting innovation capital and innovation and entrepreneurship expertise, and we think that's in all of you. And yes, so this is a true partnership between Vinnova and the Swedish Research Council as well. And the open part financed by the Swedish Research Council, and the strategic part financed by Vinnova. And we said again, the joint program office, we are welcoming input from you. What type of support do you think you need to be excellent and to move forward? And we're here to help that. And promote synergies between the initiatives, and that's why you're here today. We like you to meet and utilize the joint opportunities for the international collaboration.
This is a report that Vinnova launched a year ago, and it was an analysis of the Swedish research and innovation system. And there was an assignment to really see in what areas are we strong and what. So these are, and in our assignment we got these 6 technology areas that we will focus on. You can see it as a frame, and I think maybe the most important is the combination of these technologies. But those 6 technologies is a frame for our funding. In this report, we had this picture, and I think what this picture stress is an ambition with Excellence Cluster is to cover the full research and innovation chain, from basic research and tech infrastructure, strategic research and innovation, technology applications, and also new innovation on the market, and also new innovation in industry and society.
And how? And we will come back to this at the end of this session. But stage funding call process, so we will coordinate our calls. It's open to everyone, so even for you online, even if you're not here today, you're still welcome to apply in the next stage. And goal having, now we wrote 5, it could be more of course, but this is also to emphasize it's okay to fail. If we have 5 world-leading clusters of excellence, it's okay, but of course we want more.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marika and Cecilia. So for those watching online that missed to apply for the first calls or have realized that this is a great effort and I want to join in, what is your message to them?
We got the assignment in May, so we know we had to open the first calls in June and end it in September. We know that this is not the perfect time for having a call, so excuse us for that, but that was the case. Since we know that the time frames were quite narrow, and also we know that we want really to have the next call open to everybody, and really to see how you can collaborate here together with the people listening.
Yeah, and stay tuned for more information calls. We will also have more information coming out, so watch on our web pages for more information as you go.
Great. So the efforts are just getting started.
Yes.
You mentioned a few capabilities earlier. I think there were 7. Are there any particular capabilities that you think are extra important for Vinnova or for the Research Council, or are they the same?
We think they are the same.
Yeah.
The excellent research is the fundamental thing that we're looking for, and that's the same. We have the same. But we have different capabilities of fund and help out during the way in this arrow from the growth from the basis to the... So we will support each other there and support the clusters. But we think we have the same aims and goals. Yeah.
Great to hear. You mentioned the program office. When do you think there will be a program office in place?
we have started the program
Yeah.
office. We don't have a physical place for the program office, but we're really working together already. So that's so it's in the making.
Yeah, by the turn of the year, we have a recruitment ongoing. So yeah, soon.
Soon. Cecilia, can I ask you, at Vinnova, we are also looking at radical innovation as a tool to maybe use in the cluster of excellence. Can you give any previews on that?
It's if you know DARPA in US, where they put up really bold challenges, and we know that it's also done now in Europe. It's a German agency called Sprind who is putting up challenges that are quite specific, and you can apply to try to solve this challenge as teams, and you have different stage. So it's the problematic word procurement, pre-commercial procurement that you use, and you have like in the first stage you can apply it, you can fund many ideas to solve this challenge, and then you have like a 2 or 3 stage gates type of process. What's interesting with the German Sprind is that they when you apply, when the call is closing, you have decisions within 14 days. So they are really quick, and you have also the funding on your account after 14 days. So it's quite amazing, and we will try that here in Sweden.
Yeah. Maybe a tool for the future clusters of excellence.
Yes.
Then. Yes. We're a bit ahead of time, but I'm going to say thank you anyway, and you will be back later.
Yes.
So we look forward to that.
Thank
you. A big round of applause.
Thank you.
I'm going to take this opportunity to remind you of the Menti code. I'm going to repeat it once again. Go to menti.com and put in 73931738. Send us your input and thoughts. So what do you say, Tech? Do we have our next speaker? Yes. So moving on, one key element, as I think was mentioned before, to creating long-lasting and future impact is collaboration. To truly make a difference, we need to work and think together. Our next speaker has extensive experience with collaborations across sector, locally, nationally, and internationally. He is currently head of Triple Helix at Alfa Laval, and today he is here to give us some inspiration and knowledge. So I'm going to welcome Christian Åsberg to the digital stage. He is with us from another location, having a bit of a cold, I think. So we have to bear with his sore voice. Right, Christian?
Yes.
Yes.
So friends, I hope you can hear me. My voice is extremely bad. I managed to get tonsillitis, halsfluss in Swedish, yesterday, so not ideal. But thanks for the invitation, and as you said, I'm head of Triple Helix at Alfa Laval, and I've also been the interim CEO of one of the EU KICS consortium the last 6 months. And this is basically what I've done, building clusters of excellence and working with partnerships. And I love to be connected, so if you want to connect with me, please do that through LinkedIn here. I'm one of those extremely passionate persons who have the luck of having the same mission and passion in life. And it's really about this, building clusters. And I usually quote Confucius, the great Chinese philosopher, saying that get a job that you love and you don't have to work for another day in your life. Louise and Ylva told me that all of you know what Helix is, but I would like to test your knowledge first here. So let's see here if you can nail this one. What is Helix? Is it free ear piercing? Is the name of a female gladiator? Is it the DNA spiral in biology? Is it the ride at Liseberg? Or is it the model for building clusters of excellence in innovation and knowledge, as well as attractions of talent and places? So
Yay.
you're well educated in room. So I don't want to put out the question here, but I can tell you that everything is right here. But I will focus on the last bullet point during my small speech here. So just very quick, what is Alfa Laval, which I'm heading the Triple Helix globally. It's quite a unique company which have innovation built into its DNA, which we are very, very proud of. We have plus 4,200 patents, but what really gets me to work every day is that out of the UN Sustainable Goals, we're total 17, we are working directly with 15 of those. So what is the Triple Helix landscape? And this is one of my favorite games in life, Trivial Pursuit. Unfortunately, this is a little bit what it looks today. So we have a lot of great initiatives, but it's not really well coordinated. And this is really what drives me. How can we make this, as you are tasked to do, as clusters of excellence, looking more like this? And if we can get here...
Sorry, Christian. I think you have missed to share your PowerPoint presentation. We only see you. You are a friendly face, but I think we would like to see your images as well.
That would be fantastic, right? I stop share and try to share again. Thank you for letting me know. Let's try again, man. What does it look like now?
Looks much better, thank you.
Thank you. Then I do it all over again with my lovely voice, right? Yes, and again, here is actually the QR code if you want to connect. And here's my passion slide. And here's the 3 ear piercing, name of theme, gladiator, DNA spiral, right at Liseberg, and the Triple Helix. And this is the Alfa Laval slide. And here is the Trivial Pursuit slide, what I think it looks like today, and where we want to go with this future. Bringing on some of my experience here, as I said, last 6 months I worked very hard with the EU consortium, looking at how can we build an excellence cluster in the thematic field of water, marine, and maritime. I think for Europe, this is very important that we need to collaborate much more. We've done this with EIT and seeing how we can use the KIC methodology to make this better. But we also know there's a competition here. And here, this is just one example of a clusters that I've been part as CEO of building in Barcelona. It's quite tough competition for us. I mean, here we have the biggest technical university, the biggest business school, some of the biggest companies in the world in the water sector, and also some of the research centers. And of course, this is great when we do this on European level, but how can we do this in Sweden, Scandinavia? And this is exactly what I actually have done. So in Sweden, working as head of Triple Helix, I've used a couple of business models that I basically use every day. Analyze tools like SWOT, force field, 3-box model, and frameworks. And using a lot of different data sources to understand the landscape for basically Alfa Laval in this case. And also setting up, which I think is extremely important, a governance structure and having continue to have a lot of workshops and sense-making tools. And this is, I think, exactly what you need to do now to build those excellence clusters. And this is just one way of doing it. But if you look at my, what I came up with is basically, of course, I now bring in the Alfa Laval hat here. So basically, we have 3 areas that we work with in Sweden, and it's the Greater Stockholm area, Greater Gothenburg area, and Greater Copenhagen area. And all areas have basically the same challenges in how we work with education, innovation, and business creation. And also a strong, basically war for talent on local level, on national level, and even on global level. And we in the industry, who are the one who basically need to make the products, make the new applications, we also see quite a lack of attractiveness for industry. Where I sit at the global headquarters in Lund, I mean, Lund is a university town, but at the same time, it's south of Sweden's biggest industry town. But it's not really branded like that. So just to give you some examples how we build this. This is a Alfa Laval infrastructure in the greater Stockholm area, having Eskilstuna to the west and Jordbro to the east here, and Flemingsberg and Tumba in the middle. And the reason I can't be with you today is that we actually have the inauguration of this beautiful building in Flemingsberg today. And Flemingsberg is a great example of how we think in triple helix. Was by purpose we put it in Flemingsberg, where we only have a couple of 100 meters to Karolinska, KTH, Södertörns högskola, and Flemingsberg campus. But we also, of course, work very close with municipalities and the different region of Stockholm. And in this area, you can see here, we have a lot of different universities and higher education that we already collaborate with. If we do the same kind of snapshot of the Alfa Laval ecosystem in greater Copenhagen area, you can see the same here, that from Ronneby in the east, Lund, Staffanstorp, where Lund, of course, where we had the head office, Landskrona, where you can see this beautiful metal ship that we just inaugurated also, and Søborg in Copenhagen. And for you who don't know Søborg is basically the Kungens Kurva of Copenhagen. Here we have some great infrastructure already. We worked very close and had full-time resources in Max Lab, which is a big X-ray. And as most of you know, perhaps in 2027, we will open up ESS, which is the most powerful neutron source, with a 30 billion euro investment. And we'll look, of course, at the proximity here, and I will share a little bit more about how this looks, especially in Lund, in the innovation district. But we also see this holistically and strategically. So if you look at this region of Skåne, that was selected as one of the region innovation valleys of EU in 2024. And it was also one of the few areas that was highlighted in the Draghi report. So of course, there you can see that this is very important for us, how we also connect in the greater kind of region and area. Looking at Lund specifically, this is one of my favorite slides. So Lund is basically 4 kilometers of innovation. And we have the branding of global impact within walking distance. Starting basically from the cathedral, where the university started, to a Max Lab and ECS area up in north. And you can see that's a tremendous amount of corporate R&D, big science infrastructure, incubators, innovation facilities, and lab and infrastructure. And what I love this picture is that you can see this little dot up here is the corporate headquarters of Alfa Laval. And it seems like far away from the innovation district. But normally I bike in Lund, and it takes me 5 minutes to bike here to the innovation district, where of course I spend quite a lot of time. But at Alfa Laval, we take this very, very seriously. And we already have existing collaboration with all these great universities, KTH, Handelshögskolan, MDU, Lund University, of course, BTH, Campus Helsingborg, and we're building more collaboration now with Karolinska and Malmö, Linné University, and Chalmers and EEA. And here it's very important to set kind of a vision and a focus area. So here we work with, in Lund, for example, we work with Triple S partnership, focus on our strategic capabilities, so we have a mutual way of working. And of course, focus on lifelong learning basically working with all faculties with in-depth research, innovation, large-scale infrastructure, master thesis, climatons, and even mini credentials. Quite a big scope with over 100 activities. And how do we do this? It's very much connected to the resources that we put into this. So, for example, our CEO, Tom Eriksson, is also the vice chairman of Lund University. Me personally, I'm working this strategic partnership, doing a lot of internal promotions, and also I'm sitting in the EduLab for lifelong learning. I'm being also the inspector of our faculty of engineering, really being close to our end users, the students here. And again, we collaborate with all faculties, multiple sections, business committees, sponsorship, equipment, and labs. And this demands quite a lot of resources at the same time. And very important here is the mandate from top. So we have signed this strategic agreement where you see the rector of Lund University, Eric Renström, and our CEO, and doing the actual handshake here. We are committed to do this together. And I'm blessed in that sense that I have a CEO who really think this is extremely, extremely important. Not only for society, because I mean, we talk about triple helix, but of course there's the fourth helix and there's the fifth helix also. So he takes this extremely, extremely serious, and I'm working full time with this, both Alfa Laval, also in a European context. And very high level, some challenges and lessons learned. I think what I mentioned already, proximity and logistics is important. But also, of course, working in a strategic, holistic way. But the actual meetings where the magic happen is very important to make happen. And then, of course, we have some different operational paces where we live in a quarter kind of economy. And of course, academia have much longer timelines and sometimes conflicting incentives. That's why it's so important, like the previous speaker said, that have bold ambitions and be really clear on your focus areas after you've done your analysis very early on. There's a lot of admin complexities in this also. I can tell you, especially working for EIT in EU, but this is kind of hurdles that you just have to overcome. Lessons learned for me, align expectation and have a business mindset. In the end, for society, it means that we need to have better product and applications who someone needs to pay for. And that's really how we can drive this long term. Building, of course, on the innovations. Also focus on the culture in your excellence cluster. What kind of culture and values do you want to have? And set up a very strong governance. And working at the same time with a strategic approach and low-hanging fruits. So think big, start small, and escalate fast, and really kind of demonstrate that you have feasibility here. I have some more slides. I'm happy to share them with a lot of plans and ideas, but I would like to take opportunity now if you have any kind of builds you want to do here and or any questions, audience.
Thank you, Christian. Big round of applause for him and for powering through with his sore throat. Christian, some questions for you. You said so many great things during your presentation, and you almost make collaboration sounds really easy, but I'm sure it is not, because otherwise we would all be doing it. So what do you think are the top reasons to why collaborating may be challenging?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to start saying that working in a triple helix or the knowledge triangle that we use in the EU, it demands a lot of energy. And I'm a hobby chef also, so I always use this metaphor of doing the perfect vinaigrette. So a vinaigrette have three ingredients: vinegar, of course some oil, and I like to also pour some honey into it. And you can basically say that that is almost like education, innovation, and business creation. But what is needed to make a perfect vinaigrette? A lot of energy. You need to steer to make it happen, to create a magic. And if you stop steering, then of course it will fail. So I think that is one of the key things here. Having the energy, have passionate people who really want to contribute to making the change and do that in a very kind of collaborative environment and secure your mandate and commitment from your top managers at C-level is for sure also crucial. I can talk about this for hours, but let's do that next time when I can talk.
We do have a few minutes, so take your time. This may be a leading question, but do you think people should work more with the triple helix model? I feel that it's been talked about for so long that maybe everyone is like, well, we already heard about that. What is your comment?
I mean, of course, it's an old model, and this is almost a funny story because I've been working in this landscape for like 30 years. Just a couple of years ago, my boss sent me a lot of these kind of triple helix things. You should look into this, make this coordination. You should collaborate with this and this. And suddenly I said, maybe this is a job. So then I actually took the title of head of triple helix, like almost like a statement that we are working on this. But it have a lot of different ingredients. But I honestly think that you also this needs to be facilitated. Triple helix collaboration is not given. You need these people to make this happen. And again, I'm blessed to have the ability to do this full time. And it's really a passion for my personally and for my 5 children's in future. What will they actually work with? And I do believe that we have a burning platform in Sweden on many different levels.
Great, thank you. Finally, if you would condense your presentation into 3 helpful advice for our audience today, what would those be?
I prepared for that question, so I have 8 advice. No, I just did a kind of high level, and much of the things have already been said this morning, which is amazing. So it starts with leadership. You need a strong leadership here to build this. And I can tell that from personal experience working with EU kicks and how you build that. And the shared vision, of course, you need to be very focused because we have a lot of different kind of areas already in Sweden. Take life science, for example. It's very strong in the greater Copenhagen area, but it's also very strong in the greater Stockholm area, including Uppsala. But should we do it in both places? So again, that needs to take a bold decision. Where is the best place of doing that? Also looking at kind of beyond today's technology, I think it's very important to look in, and that's why I on purpose did my analysis on 2 perspectives, 2027 and 2035. So kind of short term and where do we really want to go long term. Build trust and build relationships. I think it's extremely important. And look at your talent pipeline, not only those who are in the university today, but really looking at, and that's why I have this picture of a school child, what will happen in 10 years. And there I can tell you, we really have a burning platform, because we may have good excellence clusters, but if we don't have industry in Sweden that can produce those things, then we will lose the proximity. So having a blue color long term is extremely important. And last but not least, and I actually have the picture of doing the perfect vinaigrette. I always do the vinaigrette.
Always do the vinaigrette. Well, thank you, Christian, and thank you for powering through and being with us today. So big round of applause for Christian.
Thank you. And please connect.
We'll be sure to do. Thank you. So it's time to move forward with the program. I'm reminding you of using the Menti code once again, 7393. 1738. Send us your input. Our next speaker will talk about Vinnova's report on strategic technologies for Sweden, because Vinnova's government assignment for the clusters of excellence is closely linked to that report. It came out last year for the first time, and this year we have continued that work, but in a slightly different form. The coming report is soon to be released, but you all in this room and those online will get a sneak preview on what it says. Here to tell you all about it is Göran Marklund, who is Deputy General Director at Vinnova and Head of Strategic Analysis. Welcome to the stage. Sorry. There is Göran.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Well, a sneak peek of the conclusions, maybe not, but some snapshots of what we do here, analysis of strategic technologies. And as Louise has already said, we had this, I'm going back now 1 year, and this was the assignment we got a year ago, where we were supposed to develop a knowledge base for the government around these strategic technologies and also propose methods for how the knowledge base could be regularly updated, which we thought was important. As I think this is, yeah, better. It's not a one-stop shop because things are changing so rapidly, so we need to do it regularly. We thought, so we proposed that. And the report is published at vinnova.se then. So now then when we got this, and you saw this already, we got within this government assignment to Vinnova to further develop this knowledge base, strategic technologies and analysis reports. And it is going to be published the 12th of December, so these are not the most comfortable of days for us. But this is what we think is going to be the sort of the layout of the chapters. Taking a step back, looking at the global development, what has happened and what is happening, and what would that mean maybe for Sweden and Swedish position and development within different technology areas. I'll come back to those in a minute. And international benchmarking, how do we stand and how do we move within important strategic technologies for the future. And we also look now this time a little bit more, try to, on technology convergence, because things have happened quite rapidly in connecting these different technologies together, and also in relation to industrial value chains and the implications for Sweden. What is, as was said by Christian, here you need to have those industrial value chains here also in Sweden, otherwise, you know. And then future perspectives, looking a little bit on scenarios and things looking ahead and the Swedish particular opportunities. This is a report then on the 12th of December, but it is going to be updated. That is also in our assignment every year until at least 2028 in October, and I think that is important. So it's an ongoing. We are aiming at publishing continuously on the web data of different kinds. This was the previous years, or that was the 2024 report, which is there, as you saw before. Now it's going to look different also from the outset, but not yet decided. And these are where we started in 2024. We started with these EU critical technologies, technology areas. We do that again, but now we are also looked at, maybe we should split a little bit of those. So we're maybe now looking at 14, but these still in this framework. We have seen that, okay, these are a little bit, you know, and if you look at these sub-areas, they were 42 from the EU. Now maybe we are looking a little bit more in detail, about 70. So there will be data of different kinds, I hope, in a couple of weeks. This is important too, because this is also an ongoing methodological development for us. It's not the given exactly where you draw the line between these different technology areas. It's not that there are statistics on those, as you can imagine. So what we have here is our methodological approach. We have an AI-based analytical platform. We have a quantitative analysis. We would like to come all the way on bibliometrics, which is scientific publications, patent data, EU data, how do we do there in these areas, firm industrial group data, startup and scale-up data. So now we are taking one more step, a little bit more towards startup and scale-up data in this report than we did last time. And we have also tried to do more more in the qualitative analysis and looking at documents of written material by using AI, but also more dialogues with different actors. We haven't been able to talk to everyone, of course, so we are open to have inputs on everything. So if you just email on your views on things, that's quite okay. Now we will open up a survey after this report, though, talking to experts, and we'll have had seminars. We're working quite closely with international partners, particularly with the OECD in several parts within the OECD. The OECD is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And we also work with the EU JRC, the Joint Research Center, as part of this, but also with others. We will come back to talk or show more of this later. They do similar things, so we can draw on their work. Snapshots, not sneak peeks of conclusions, I would say, and underscore snapshot. Some of them. Okay, we have been, several of us, we're going to the global picture, I think, feeling, at least I have felt, that we have been in a sort of a perfect storm of global challenges or societal challenges even 5 years ago. Been proven wrong every year, because I think everyone feels that 2025 have been exceptional. I mean, gearing up the storm quite a bit where we're living geopolitically now. So, but the story has, I think, been there going on much longer. This is the annual research and development figures, or the research and development figures globally. Here, the average annual R&D growth, R&D and for research and development, for the past 23 years. So we say 25 years change, quite substantial growth in the global R&D. And where has it mainly been? So China has done a remarkable growth and is now almost at par with the US in terms of absolute global or R&D investments. These are total R&D investments. China, 26.2% of the global R&D now, much, much less 25 years ago. The US has had, all countries here have had sort of annual growth, but this annual growth is very different. And the EU, you can see, has also lost in shares over this time. Here you have R&D as a share of GDP. GDP is the gross domestic product. So it is in relative terms, you have Sweden here. Sweden is doing, as we all know, quite well. But Sweden is also very small on the global scale, of course. And it has not had a growth, really, in R&D in par with many other, or several other, at least, countries. So that maybe is something to think about. Just you can have those. Now, we have done one, where we do other snapshots now from one part of the data we have. We have tried to look a little bit more into AI. I think that's quite relevant. And together with Elsevier, which is then providing data from Scopus, as some of you may know. We also use Web of Science data from Clarivate. And we will also use OpenAlex data, which is the open source, which is not that curated yet, which some of you may know. But this is Elsevier Scopus data. We then try to look at AI from 3 different perspectives. AI fundamentals, the theoretical sort of basis, AI applications, which is then for the AI publications. This is scientific publications for use in society in the publications, and AI reflections, which is more societal dimensions, ethical principles. How do you do this in terms of making it workable in society? So those 3, don't take these figures too literally and run too far away with them immediately. These are preliminary. Okay, looking at this again, we can have total publication share. Okay, China has risen quite rapidly, of course, and is quite strong. On the other hand, looking at share in top AI ranked sources, they're doing not that well compared to the US, for example, or even Sweden. Sweden looks better there than if you take just the global share, I think. These are the AI fundamentals. You can also see the share cited in patents and share academia industry co-publications, where industry actually co-publish with academia. Sweden is doing relatively well in those areas, and even better when we move to AI applications. So here, maybe this is a stronghold. You can see the citations here. These are the citations, which is important. How one level above 1 is above global average. Sweden is doing quite well in terms of citations, that is scientific citations, but also in industry, academia, collaboration, when we talk about applications, maybe not so surprising in a way, but better than many of the other countries, relatively speaking. Although, you remember, Sweden is small, and large numbers actually get to become large volumes. These are the AI applications perspective then, and going then to AI reflections, China is doing less good. Now this is compared to what we just saw. While the EU is much more prominent in looking, and the US too, relatively speaking, into what AI in society. So these are 3 perspectives which we now try to experiment with. Not the only thing we do, but this is one thing we do in the AI in this new report. Then I have said some words about the qualitative analysis that we do, and I think will be much more to say about that analysis, and that has been much more elaborate this time, even both in terms of document analysis and in the dialogues we have. And I think some things come out stronger, but some things also come out similar to the last report that we presented in 2024. And that is the Swedish unique selling points. I think they are still quite much there, 3 Cs. Unique selling points in terms of capabilities, collaborations, and competencies. We are quite strong for being a small country to have, I think it was told before here, international technology advanced industry with the global footprint in all these technologies, actually. And the leading capability in developing systems solutions compared to many other small countries, at least. And an international integration in value chains, really, because of that. So those capabilities are quite important, and important to be able to safeguard, I think Christian said more or less some minutes ago. We're also compared to, I think, several other countries to collaborate across different companies, sectors, levels, and between academia and the industry than many other countries are. When we have quite long history, I think, of building up trust. And trust is easy to destroy, as you may have noticed recently, but it's also a very good asset to have. Strong research and innovation environments we do have. Maybe they can become stronger when we do these excellence clusters, of course. Ecosystem of innovative startups, which is quite unique now in recent decades, of building up quite many unicorns, in fact, and ecosystems for innovative startups here. Well-educated population, which is quick, very quick comparatively, I think, to adopt new technology. So that is a good demand side thing. Leadership in environment and climate issues. I think we are still. Sort of the global environment for those kinds of focus have changed, as we all, I think, are into. And maybe the demand from some important sources have decreased a little bit, but still we are there, and I think the climate is still going to change, and the demand and the necessity for getting us somewhere else in terms of green technologies and green industry and greener societies are quite still there. Tradition of ethics and gender equality, comparatively. So those are still there, these unique selling points, we think. These were not the conclusions. These were just snapshots, and don't take the data too far. And we're going to struggle a little bit ahead, but then I hope to invite you all to comment and discuss this further on. So we are going to hopefully now deliver this report in the first place for the 12th of December. So these were my sort of snapshots into what we're doing within this government assignment. So maybe I change. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Göran. You can wait over there, and we will dive deeper into data, but not the data that you were talking about, but data for the applications to the 2 calls for clusters of excellence. We received about 400 applications. We're very excited about the high number, and we have looked at them closely. We're using a variety of data tools and analysis methods. Did we find anything interesting? I think so. And here to tell us about the results is, I'm going to be better at using the clicker, Emma Östmark from the Swedish Research Council. She's coordinating for engineering sciences. Welcome.
Thank you, Louise. Yes, so I'm here to tell you a little bit about the project proposals that we did an analysis for the network and vision grants, both coming into the Swedish Research Council and to Vinnova. I will focus a bit on the Swedish Research Council because those were bottom up and we wanted to analyze them a bit more to understand what they were all about. So I will start with those. So for the network grant call to the Swedish Research Council, we received 191 proposals. 70% of them were from male project leaders and 30% were from female. We granted 40 projects for funding, and those are now running. The main applicants came from 17 different host universities, so there was quite a wide spread. And to the right here, you can see from what higher education institutes they came from. And if we look at the connections mentioned in the proposals, we can see that there is a lot, and that all major higher education institutes have connections mentioned to each other. And you can see that the wider the line, the more mentions of connections or collaborations were there in the applications. And this is very good to see. And we also hope that this brings on collaboration within the different universities. And as we have heard earlier this morning, this is a very important part of clustering, one part of it. So we're very happy to see these connections. And we wanted to understand better what was mentioned in the different proposals. So this is still the Swedish Research Council. And these are some words that were very frequent. The bigger the word, the more frequent it is. So you can see that artificial intelligence is coming several times. Machine learning, which is also very closely connected to AI. Engineering, clinical, advanced system technologies, sustainable, safety, and many other words were mentioned. So this is quite nice to see. But we wanted to know a little bit more about numbers, so we were digging a bit more into that. Here we see the top 15 research areas for both all proposals coming to the Swedish Research Council in blue and the funded proposals in beige. And the top areas here are computer science, and on the second place, biomedical engineering, and then third, biotechnology, material science, and then physics. And though AI is mentioned in many proposals as a research area and not a tool, it comes further down in the list. So we think that computer science may also involve some AI, but as a research tool, AI comes further down in the list. And the Swedish Research Council also asked what research infrastructure that a potential project intended to use, and got the following answers. As you can see, the NICE supercomputer was mentioned the most. And the runners-up were MAX4 and the National Genomics Institute. And you can see that NICE and MAX4 were mentioned a lot more than the other research infrastructures. And I think that reflects quite well the research areas that I showed on the earlier slide. And then if we go to the Vinnova vision projects, we can see that Vinnova received 173 applications, and 45 of these were granted. And Vinnova had, as we have heard, a starting point with 6 strategic technologies defined. And here you can see that what technological areas the granted projects arrived in. And to the right, you can see what organizations were the main applicants. And we also wanted to understand a little bit better how Vinnova's and the Swedish Research Council's applications work together, if there were any overlap or if there were anything that was different between them. So we have also plotted a landscape with some AI assistance, where you can see Vinnova's projects as green dots and the Swedish Research projects as red dots. And the squares are the granted projects and the dots are the non-granted projects. And the higher altitudes in this landscape represents more applications. And it's possible to see that Vinnova and the Swedish Research Council together cover quite a large area and that there are some overlaps. We can also see that Vinnova is more active in some areas and that the Swedish Research Council is active in some own areas as well. So we have our own fields as well, but we have quite a big overlap. And also we can see that it's quite a wide diversity with the areas, which is really nice to see. Yes, so with that, I think I hand over back to Louise again.
Yes. Thank you, Emma. Give me a little bit. Very interesting presentations from the both of you. Regarding the last one about the applications and maybe the overlapping, but did you find that surprising that there were so many overlaps in the applications?
It was a bit surprising. We were happy to see that we were working in the same areas, maybe at different TRL levels. So it's possible that it could be earlier research and then more implementation later on. So that was nice to see. We know that it's not the same project leaders that have one Vinnova grant and one Swedish Research Council grant. So that we know.
And that is good to know.
That's good to know.
Was there anything else that surprised you when doing the analysis?
It's nice to see that AI is worked on quite a lot and that there is so much happening in this area. And I think we have managed to capture it quite well also with these proposals.
Do you have anything to add, Göran?
No, exactly. I was
covered
also
it.
my reflection on the AI is all over in this sort of technology convergence. Then again, coming back to what I talked about before, is in those projects.
Great, thank you, Göran. You talked a bit about the upcoming report on strategic technologies for Sweden. How would you say that this, or why is this report important for everyone in this room and maybe future applicants watching online?
I hope it's going to be important. I hope it's going to be some help for others to see us in an international perspective. So this time our assignment is not to give a lot of proposals to the government, but to sort of improve the knowledge base. And if it's reasonably well done, I hope it's going to be able to be used for different kinds of strategies. Not only for these projects, but of course for the government, but also for ourselves. So
Great to hear. You mentioned that you did some dialogues when preparing this report. What kind of groups of people did you meet, and did they
we
have
have
a
talked a
common
lot
message?
with industry, with academia, with research institutes have been involved, this time we did it more structured than we had the time to do last time. So yes, all kinds of different actor groups have been involved.
Everyone's voices have been
Not
captured.
everyone's voices, of course, but
Almost.
different actor groups. Yes.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you, and a big round of applause for Emma and Göran. So now we have talked about the applications and the current status of the Cluster of Excellence efforts. But what is happening next? I think everyone is wondering that, and I am glad that I am not the one to answer it. But welcome back to the stage, Marika and Cecilia.
Yeah. So this is what everyone been waiting for. Yeah. So, Cecilia.
Yes, so this is just a short plan of the future. We will have the seminar on the report that Göran talked about just seconds ago. It's December 16th. We will also have some information seminars about the next step in January, February. We said earlier that we would open a call in December. We have now rethought that, so it will be an open call in the spring. Also, as in September, we think that around September we have an evaluation process for the new applications, and also in the fall we will have a startup phase for new projects. And also, next year we will present roadmaps for these technology areas. That's Göran's responsibility. So this is just a brief plan for the coming year.
And the one for the Swedish Research Council looks quite similar. In spring, we will open cluster calls. So it will be full calls for full clusters. There will be an evaluation process using peer review. We're looking at international panels. I think that's necessary because everyone has fingers everywhere, I think, in the research society. It's not limited to just engineering sciences, it's everywhere. So I think international panels are quite necessary. We're looking at the cluster kickoff at the end of the year. So there will be a quick process again, but opening earlier spring this year, we're not aiming to destroy your summer again, and we will have information out in the beginning of the year, even if the calls are closed, are opened a little bit later. Of course, after kickoff, after some years of operation, there will be follow-ups. See that everyone has started their activities, following up that everything is going smoothly. See if we can support. So some type of evaluation will be happening after a few years, and then maybe after 4 or 5 years. That's still in discussions. And of course, what I would like to add now is that the innovation potential and ecosystem for innovation support in place will come later probably, but it needs to be there at some point as well. So the connection would be there from the beginning. And as you can see, the plans look quite similar, and that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is known?
Yeah, we know that we will have a joint program office. So, and really the ambition now is to align our different calls between Vinnova and the Research Council. We know that we will open a call in the spring, not in December. We will do the evaluation of the clusters together further on. We will have international evaluators also, and hopefully we will share those evaluators. We are discussing also to have an international board, advisory board, so to speak, for these 2 assignments and clusters. Vinnova knows that we have these 6 technology areas that we will focus on.
Swedish Research Council doesn't know. So there will be some areas which are covered by the Research Council grants, but not by Vinnova grants to start with, at least.
You have a broader
We
assignment.
have a broader
Yeah.
scope
Yeah.
with our assignment, so that's something that will come. And what is not known, this is still in discussions, is the exact number of clusters that we will start. That's not known, but our message is it's less than 15. More than 5, less than 15. So it's a few. We had a lot of these preliminary applications, but the number of clusters will be few. And that's because we want to have them, and that's our assignment, to have them over critical in size. So that's something that we don't know exactly, but we say that just now. The ambition is to have joint calls, but we're not there yet. That's still in discussion, and it's not known. And this is taking time. So it's a unique thing. It's a uniquely large research thing that we do together, and the collaboration is also in its nature unique. We have also one thing that we're working on with the Swedish Research Council, and that's confidentiality in the applications. That's still not clarified how we can handle possible confidentiality issues. So I say that now. We're coming back to how that thing is progressing, but it's also good to know now that still, as far as we know, we cannot have them completely confidential at this time. But it's something that we're working really, really hard to clarify. Yes, that's all for now. Maybe there's some questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Marika and Cecilia. So both of you have had extensive careers in research and innovation. What differs this initiative from other things that you have been working on?
In my experience, it's a scale. This is maybe the largest assignment we got, and also the scale, and also the type of assignment that we have this close collaboration with the Research Council, that we really want. We work together in some different ways, but I think this is the closest collaboration, and really that to put our efforts together to create this excellence cluster for tomorrow. So I think the scale and the ambition also from the government that they put so much money into this, and how can we scale this up with not only the money from the government but also other investments from companies or from the EU or other investments. That's
What do you say, Marika?
Yeah, I think that's a concerted action from the Swedish Research Council and Vinnova working together and following the full line from early discoveries to having something implemented in the future.
Yeah.
And it comes right in time. We have to really squeeze excellent research together with the innovation activities and get the results out in the society and industry and new ventures. So it's good in time as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
When we were listening to your presentations, there were kind of a lot of things that you couldn't answer right now. So I think everyone is wondering, why is it so hard to set a timeline for this clusters of excellence? Is it really that hard?
Yeah, that's a very provocative question. and I would say yes. and that's part of why you're here today, to advise us to some extent, because I think if we look at groundbreaking research in the EU, for example, what you see with spin-offs and so on is that it's quite high from the European Research Council, which is really basic research. So that's something that also is unique. So we want to listen to you, partly. And it's also, the research bill came 1 year ago. We got our assignments in June, and we should have full clusters started at the end of next year. It's a very, very fast pace for us, and we want this to be as good as possible because it's a big investment and it's taxpayers' money. So that's why it takes time. But I hope that you feel informed and that you are prepared. And that's also the meaning with the networking grants, to give you some space and room for you to talk to each other and to start writing the applications as soon as possible.
And you can see that when we talk like this Alfa Laval example and others that we talk to, these clusters comes in different shape and forms, and we don't want to have the predefined model for how it can look. It depends on the area, depends on where you are in which stage, and so that's also something that we really would like to look outside Sweden and see good examples, and like in Denmark where you have this Bioinnovation Institute, is more like a large incubators, and they are putting a lot of money there. We just visited the AI Institute in Mila in Canada last week, and they have another setup. So there are a lot of ways of doing this, and we really like to look at that and also talk to you to see what could be a good model, depending on the area. And
Important to make it right
from
the start. Yes. Well, the clusters of excellence, I feel, forces us to think future in a new way. I think it's easy to focus on the technology now and developing it and making that better. But maybe you need to think for technology from 10 years, where are we from 10 years, and start to build on that. Can be quite difficult to think in that perspective and think in that big of a size. What would you give?
We have done it before. A couple of years ago, quite a number of years ago, we had this technology foresight exercise in Sweden, and they are to think ahead and to think foresight. That could be one way of working. You can't start thinking what we are doing now, but you really have to think what time, maybe 10 years ahead.
Do you have anything to add, Marika?
No, I don't think I have much more to add. I think it's stay tuned for more information.
Yeah.
There will be more information coming out at the VR webpage. We have your addresses, so we will probably send out also reminders of more information to come. So
Yes.
And we are really interested in the 500 audience outside this room also, what they think, and really want to have your opinions.
Yeah, it will be interesting to go through the Menti
afterwards.
Yes.
Well, great, thank you. You will be here during the day, so don't hesitate to grab a hold of them if you have any questions. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, time flies when you're having fun and interesting conversations. This part of the event is ended and our live stream will now close. Keep in mind that the work on the clusters of excellence is just in the beginning phases, so there is plenty of time to get involved and to influence how we form these efforts moving forward. So, again, the Menti code is 73931738. So please make sure to send your input. So to everyone who's watching online, thank you for taking the time and showing an interest in our work. If you want to learn more or have questions, there are 2 information meetings planned by the Swedish Research Council in December, and Vinnova will plan something similar in the next coming months. Visit our respective web pages to get the latest information. So by that, thank you for today and have a nice rest of the day.